Welcome, this is Calfetti Crochet. Today we are going to be going over a pattern for a fairy companion bandana. So the materials you will need will be 3 colors of worsted weight yarn. For this tutorial I use the light blue for the bandana, I use the white that's sparkly for the wings, and then I use a dark blue or regular blue for the fairy colors. You'll also need a 5.5mm hook, a sewing needle and scissors. For this tutorial, I did use a 6mm hook. This is just because my tension is very tight. A typical crocheter will be fine with a 5.5mm hook. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is take our light blue yarn and we're going to make a magic circle. Once we do that, we're going to chain 2. The chain 2 does not count as a stitch anywhere in this pattern. Okay, next we're going to do 4 double crochet into the magic circle. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Next, we're going to chain 2. This will be our corner or the point of the bandana. Okay, and then now 4 more double crochets. Okay, now we need to close our magic circle. So I'm going to scooch the stitches close to each other. I'm going to grab the tail. See which one of those loops moves. The loop that moves, I'm going to pull it the opposite direction to close that first loop. And now if I pull the tail, it'll close the second loop. Okay, this is a double magic circle. It's very secure. Okay, now we're going to do row 2. Chain 2, again, this does not count as a stitch. Turn our work. Okay, now in that first stitch, we're going to do an increase, double crochet increase. So that's 2 double crochets in that same spot. Okay, now we're going to put a double crochet in each stitch going towards that corner. So that's 1, 2, 3 double crochets. Okay, now we're at the corner. This is going to be the same for every row. We're going to do 2 double crochets. Chain 2. And 2 double crochets, all in that same chain 2 space. Okay, now we're going to do 3 double crochets in the next 3 stitches. Sorry, meaning 1 single double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. That's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. And then we're going to increase in the last stitch, double crochet increase. Okay, that's 2 double crochets in that same stitch. Okay, now for row 3, we're going to chain 2, which does not count as a stitch, and then turn. We're going to do a double crochet increase in that first stitch, and now 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way to the corner. So that'll be 6 double crochet for this row. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and that got us to the corner. So now, same as before, we're going to do 2 double crochet, chain 2, and then 2 double crochet. Okay, now we're going to do a double crochet in the next 6 stitches. 1, that's 2, 3, 4, and then a double crochet increase in that last stitch. Okay, for the next row, we're going to chain 2, which does not count as a stitch, and then turn our work. Okay, we're going to double crochet increase in that first stitch. And then we're going to double crochet in each stitch going up to that corner. Okay, so hopefully you see the symmetry here, or the pattern. Each row we're going to do the same exact thing. The only thing that'll be changing is the double crochets leading up to the corner. Each row will increase by 3. So our first one was 3, then we had 6, this row is 9, the next row will be 12. Okay, we made it to the corner. Now we're going to do 2 double crochets. Chain 2, 2 double crochets. Now we'll do a double crochet in the next 9 stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we'll do a double crochet increase on that last stitch. Right, next we're moving on to row 5. Chain 2. This will not count as a stitch. Turn our work. I'm going to do a double crochet increase in that first stitch. Okay, now we're going to do 12 double crochets across until we get to the corner. Okay, in the corner piece, we're going to do 2 double crochet. Chain 2, and 2 double crochet. Okay, now we'll double crochet in the next 12 stitches. And we'll do a double crochet increase in that last stitch. Okay, next for round 6, we're going to chain 2, turn, and double crochet increase in that first stitch. We're going to double crochet in the next 15 stitches. Okay, now we're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets in that chain 2 space. And now we're going to double crochet in the next 15 stitches. And we'll do a double crochet increase in the last stitch. Okay, we've got 2 more rows following this pattern. And in row 9 is when we're going to start constructing the fairy wings. Okay, so for row 7, we're going to chain 2, which does not count as a stitch. Turn our work, double crochet increase in that first stitch. Okay, now we're going to double crochet in the next 18 stitches. We're going to do 2 double crochets. Chain 2 and 2 double crochets in that corner. And now we're going to double crochet in the next 18 stitches. And we'll do a double crochet increase in that last stitch. Okay, one more row of following this pattern. Row 8, we're going to chain 2, turn our work, do a double crochet increase in that same stitch. Now we're going to double crochet in the next 21 stitches. Right, in the corner, we're going to do 2 double crochets. Chain 2 and 2 double crochets. Do a double crochet in the next 21 stitches. And we're going to do a double crochet increase in that last stitch. All right, now we're going to move on to row 9, which will be the start of the wings. So we're going to chain 2, which does not count as a stitch. Turn our work. We're going to double crochet increase in that first stitch. And now we're going to double crochet in the next 8 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so our wings is going to take up another 8 stitches, and that'll leave us an additional 8 stitches at the end. This will make our wings centered on this row. Okay, so it's going to look something like this. Okay, we're going to have wings that go in the front, and that means we're going to have to do some crossing in the back to get that look. Okay, so we're going to skip the next 2 stitches, and we're going to treble crochet in the 2 after that. So skip 2, in the 3rd stitch we're going to do a treble crochet. And in the next stitch, another treble crochet. This will be the crossing in the back. We keep it as blue because we don't want it to be seen. The white is going to be the fairy's wings. Okay, so you can see those 2 stitches we skipped. We're going to have to go into them. We're going to go into them from the front in this one. So we can fold the blue treble crochets back to get into those stitches from the front. Okay, so we need to switch to our white yarn. I'm using sparkly white yarn. Hard to see, but it does have some sparkle. Okay, this is the method I use to change color, but you can use any method you want. Okay, I'm just going to pull the yarn through and then just continue with the white yarn. So I'm going to do a treble crochet. I'm going backwards to those 2 stitches we skipped. So notice they'll cross in front of the blue treble crochets. So just push those blue treble crochets back, and that way we can have the white treble crochets on the top. Okay, there's one. Okay, we're going to treble in the next skipped stitch. Okay, that's 2. Okay, so if we pull those threads a little bit tighter, it'll clean it up a little bit. We can pull the blue all the way out. We're just going to carry it with us. All right, so there's the first part, or 1/4 of our fairy wing. And you can see the blue goes back at a different angle than the white. We're going to skip 2 stitches. Okay, so notice that you have to skip over the blue ones we already did. So skip over those now, skip over 2. And in the 3rd stitch, we're going to do a treble crochet. Okay, and in the next stitch, another treble crochet. Okay, this will be the wings slanted the opposite direction. Okay, so we have one wing going that way, one wing going that way. Okay, we can see the blues going the opposite direction. So now we just need to do the next set of blues, which will go the opposite direction of our wing. Okay, so since we just carried that blue yarn with us, we're just going to grab it from behind. It doesn't matter if it crosses over any of those stitches, that's the back. So those yarns won't be seen. Okay, so we switch back to the blue. Okay, now we're going to do a treble crochet, but we need it behind the white stitches. Okay, so I'm going to fold down the white treble crochets, and there's the 2 stitches we skipped. We're going to do a blue treble crochet into those stitches. Oh, and I lost my treble, so I need to go back and try that one more time. Remember, treble, we need to wrap it around the hook twice, then go through, grab the yarn, and we pull it through 2, 3 times, which gives us that treble height. Okay, and then we're going to treble crochet in the next skip stitch. Okay, I'm going to pull out that white yarn, and we can cut the white yarn. I'm going to do 1 double crochet out of the next 8 we're supposed to do, just to solidify this a little more so we can see a little bit better how it's going to sit. Right, so we can see the white wings in the front going diagonal to meet in that center. And if we flip it around, we have the opposite. Okay, so the blue on the back is going to form a diamond, whereas the white on the front will form the fairy wings. Okay, we'll sew in that white later. And let's finish this row of blues. All right, so we did 1 out of the 8, so let's do a double crochet in the next 7 stitches. So that's 1, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, that got us to our chain 2 space. We're going to do the normal corner, which is 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. Okay, now we're going to do the mirror image. So we're going to do the exact same thing we just did for this side of the wings to get the fairy on the other side. Okay, so we can see we've got 1/2 of that fairy done. And then when we come back the other way, we'll do the other bottom pair of wings. Okay, so again, we had 8 stitches, and the wing takes up 8 stitches as well. Okay, we're going to double crochet in the next 8 stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so that's the first part of that side. Okay, now we're going to start the wings. So we're going to skip 2 stitches and treble crochet in the next stitch. Okay, and then treble crochet in the stitch after that. Okay, that gives us our slant going backwards. So we're going to change back to white. I do recommend cutting it off, not carrying the white. It is much easier just to cut it and reattach it when we do these wings. Right, so with the white yarn, we're going to do treble crochets in the skip stitch in front. Okay, so I fold those blue treble crochets back to allow me access to the skip stitches in front of those blue trebles. That's 1, and then treble crochet in the next skip stitch. Again, we're going in front of those blue stitches. Okay, we can pull out that blue yarn. Okay, just let it fall to the back. We're going to pick it up in just a second. Okay, so there we have our slanted wing going to the left. And the blue goes the opposite way. Okay, now we're going to skip 2 stitches. So remember, we got to skip those stitches first, and then after that, skip 2. And we're going to do 2 treble crochets with white to get the other side of that wing. Okay, and we're going to switch back to blue. Just pick it up from the back. Okay, and now we're going to do 2 treble crochets in those skip stitches behind the white stitches. So fold the white stitches forward to get us easy access to those skip stitches. Okay, so there's 1 treble crochet, and then 2. There it is. Another treble crochet with the blue. Okay, again, we're going to finish off with 8 double crochets, but I'm just going to do 1, kind of help it get a little solidified. Pull that white, we can tighten it, and we can cut off the white yarn. Okay, so we have the tops of our 2 fairies on either side. Okay, for the next row, we'll do the mirror image. Get the bottom of those fairy wings. Okay, so that was 1 double crochet. We're going to double crochet in the next 7 stitches to get to the end. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. And we're going to do a double crochet increase in that last stitch. All right, that was round 9. It's a little bit complicated, but round 10 is going to be the most complicated. Okay, so this one's going to be a little bit trickier than the one we just did. Those bottom wings are just a little bit trickier. All right, we're going to chain 2, which does not count as a stitch. Turn our work. We're going to do a double crochet increase in that first stitch. And then we're going to double crochet in the next 9 stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Right, so in the last row, we started with blue and just went into our trebles, but this time we got to do the opposite. So we need to go into those white stitches first. So we're skipping the 2 blues, those 2 right there. We're going to go into the 2 whites. Okay, and then we have our next 2 whites and then our next 2 blues. So remember, there are 8 stitches total in these fairy wings. So we need the blues to attach to blues and the whites to attach to whites. So we have to start by changing the blue to white. So we're going to attach white yarn. We're going to skip 2 stitches. 1, 2, and we're going to do a treble crochet in that first white stitch. It does help to remember that the white stitches go in the white stitches and the blue stitches go in the blue stitches. Okay, so there's our 2 white treble crochets. Okay, that's going to be the bottom of the fairy's wing. Okay, so now we just need to do our crossing with the blue yarn. So switch from white back to blue. Okay, make sure you drop the white yarn in front. Okay, the white yarn needs to be in front. We don't want it on the opposite side. Okay, so now we're going to do our treble crochet in those skip stitches, crossing in front of the white yarn. So we fold the white yarn back, and we're going in from the front. Okay, now we're going to skip 2. So skip those white stitches. We're going to treble crochet in the next 2 stitches, which are the blue stitches. Okay, so blue stitches go in blue stitches, white stitches go in white stitches. Okay, so we have the 2 blues going the opposite ways. Okay, pull out that white, pull it a little bit tight. Now we're going to switch from blue to white to finish that last part of the wing. Okay, again, drop that blue yarn in front. That way we can pick it up easily. Okay, we're going to treble in those skip stitches. So again, we need to go in front this time. So fold the blue ones forward, go into that first skipped white stitch to do a treble crochet, and then go into that next white skipped stitch for our last treble crochet. Okay, the yarn does look like a pretty big mess, but we can clean it up in just a second. Okay, we need to switch back to the blue yarn. Please cut the white yarn, that way it doesn't get any more tangled than it already is. Okay, we're going to do 10 double crochets, but I'm going to just do 1 just to get that to sit a little bit better so we can take a look at what we did. Okay, so we're going to pull that white yarn out. We're done with it. Make sure our stitches, make sure our strings, the edges of the yarn are in the back. We can pull them a little bit tighter. Missing one. There it is. Let's pull it to the back. Beautiful. Right, so now if we flip it upside down, we can see this is what the fairy is going to look like. So we have the 2 wings on top we did the previous round, and then the 2 wings on the bottom we just completed. Okay, we're going to go back to completing our 10 double crochets. We just did 1. So let's do 9 more. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And in that corner spot, we're going to chain 2. I'm sorry, 2 double crochet, then chain 2, and then 2 double crochet. Okay, now we're going to do a double crochet in the next 10 stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, again, this one's a little bit trickier. It's got a couple more color changes. Okay, so let's take a look at these stitches. We should have 2 that are blue. 1 and 2. Then we're going to have 4 that are white. 1, 2, 3, and 4. One's a little hard to see. I pulled it a little too tight. If I get my needle in here, I can pull it out a little bit. There we go. Right, that's our 4th white stitch. And then I also have 2 of those blue stitches. 1, 2. Okay, that gives us 8 total. Okay, so now we're going to switch to white yarn. Okay, we drop the blue yarn in front. Okay, we're going to skip 2 stitches, the blue stitches. And we're going to treble crochet in the next stitch, which is the white stitch. It's 1 treble crochet and a second treble crochet in that second white stitch. Okay, we're going to switch back to the blue yarn. Okay, make sure we drop the white in front. Okay, we're going to go back to those skip stitches. Okay, and we're going to go in front of the white stitches. So lay the white stitches behind us, so we can do our trebles in front of them. Okay, again, the blue stitches will go in the blue stitches. Helps us remember which colors go where. Okay, next we skip the next 2 stitches. So we skip the 2 white ones, and we're going to go into the next 2 blue stitches. There's 1 treble and 2 trebles. Okay, pull that white, switch back to white so we can complete that last part of the wing. Make sure we drop the blue in front of us. Okay, we're going to go back to those stitches we skipped, but now we're going in front. We want the white in front. So we're going to go into that first skipped white stitch to do a treble crochet. And then we're going to go into that second skipped white stitch to do a treble crochet. Okay, pull that blue. Let's switch back to the blue yarn. So we can take a look at what we did. Okay, cut the white yarn. We don't need it anymore. Okay, again, this looks really messy, but we can clean it up very easily. Okay, and there we can see another beautiful fairy wing. Might take a couple tries to get it as tight or as clean as you want it, but that's what crochet is. Try again. Okay, we're going to finish up this row by doing 9 double crochets. We've already done 1, so that's the second. Here's number 3. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we're going to do our double crochet increase in that last stitch. But now let's take a minute to weave in the ends. You can do this any way you want. I'm going to do it nice and simple. I'm going to tie my ends together and then just pull them through. Right, we can also weave in that end that we started with, just to get it out of the way as well. Again, we used a double magic circle on that, so it's already secure. All I need to do is just pull it through the stitches just to get it away from the edge. Right, this is going to be the back of our work, so it doesn't really matter if it's kind of messy. No one's going to see it or even know it's there. Okay, we're going to move on to row 11. It's going to follow the same pattern we did before. So we're going to chain 2. And then turn our work. We're going to do a double crochet increase in the first stitch. And then we'll double crochet in the next 30 stitches until we get to the middle. Okay, and in the corner we're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Okay, we're going to do 1 double crochet in the next 30 stitches. Okay, same as before. Okay, we're going to increase, double crochet increase in that last stitch. Okay, that was row 11. You can see there's a little bit of a bulge right there where the wings are, but those won't be noticeable. Okay, row 12, chain 2, turn our work, double crochet increase in the same stitch. Okay, we're going to double crochet in the next 33 stitches. And in that corner, we're going to 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Okay, we're going to double crochet the next 33 stitches. And then we'll do a double crochet increase in that last stitch. Right, beautiful. I know it's getting a little bit tedious, but we're just going to do 1 more row, and then we can move on to our ties. All right, so row 13, last row of the bandana, we're going to chain 2, turn our work, double crochet increase in that same stitch. And then we're going to double crochet in the next 36 stitches. And at the corner, we're going to do 2 double crochets. Got a little bit of a knot. Sorry, 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and now a double crochet in the next 36 stitches. And a double crochet increase in that last stitch. Right, it's looking beautiful. Okay, now we're going to do the ties. So right where we are, we're just going to chain 41. If you want your ties shorter or longer, feel free to adjust this. Okay, now we're going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and then single crochet in the next 39 stitches down this chain. There is our first tie. Okay. Now we just need to single crochet across the top. So I did 2 single crochets per row, and there were 13 rows. So we're going to have 52 single crochets across. Hey, if that looks too tight to you, you can do less. If it looks too loose, you could do more. Okay, there we have 52 stitches going all the way across, gives us a nice little edge. All right, now we're going to make the second tie. So we're going to chain 41. If you did a different number than 41, then please do the same number. Okay, now we're going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and then single crochet in the next 39 stitches, 39 chains going all the way down. All right, once that single crochet is done, we just need to attach this stitch by slip stitching to the last double crochet of the row. I'm sorry, the last single crochet of that row. It's going to make the ties come out slightly the same angle as the top of our bandana. Okay, we can cut off that blue yarn. The bandana is 100% done after we weave in this end. So just make sure we're going on the back of the bandana. We're just going to go through a couple stitches to secure this thread. Okay, and then we go back through those same stitches. Just another 2 times. Really secures it. All right, we can cut off that yarn and we are 100% done with the bandana. And again, these are a little bit curly. If you want to block them, they'll be fine, but since we're just tying it underneath our hair, I'm not going to bother blocking those. Okay, now we're going to make our fairy companion. So I did mine in blue, but you can choose any color fairy you want. Okay, so you do need to make 2 fairy companions. So we're going to start with a magic circle. And we're going to do 6 single crochets into the magic circle. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, pull those stitches close to each other, pull the thread to see which one moves. If you pull that the opposite direction, it'll close the first loop. Pull the tail. There's the tail, there it is, to close that last loop. Okay, then we just need to slip stitch into that first stitch we made. And then we can fasten it off. Don't forget to leave a tail for sewing. We need to sew these fairies onto the bandana. If you want to use hot glue, that works as well. Some sort of adhesive, fabric adhesive, totally works as well. Okay, so the way I did it is I just pulled both of the tails, the one from the center and the one from the end through it, one on the top, one on the bottom. Okay, and then I'm just going to stitch around it. So I'm going up through the center of the wings and then up through a single crochet. And then back down. Okay, up through the center. And then up through the next single crochet. Okay, then down. And I'm going slightly off to the left and this one. Okay, I'm going to fasten it next to those blue stitches and then go up through the center. Go in through the next single crochet, down through the next single crochet, down under the wing. And I'm going to secure it a little bit by going under some of these stitches. And then up through the middle. And then through the next single crochet. Sorry, it's getting a little off camera. Okay, then go up through this middle. Grab that last single crochet. And then pull it on down. All right, once that's done, I'm going to tie the threads together just to help make it a little bit more secure. And then I'm just going to thread them underneath some of these stitches. And then go back the way I came. Over a little bit, under some more. I don't want that fairy to move around too much. And one more pass underneath those stitches. Cut the yarn, and we are done. Hey, again, it looked kind of like a mess on the back, but on the front, that looks absolutely beautiful. Thank you for joining me. I hope you liked this project.